Elon Musk, who has effectively bought the White House, has basically bought the presidency, said back in October that we were in for some hardship. And he literally said that he was going to come in and start axing things. And he has literally done that. This South African that has no actual capacity in this government, that's not an actual politician that's been voted in, is in our systems, gutting things and taking over the systems that pay out people, that pay for government funds like Medicare, Social Security. He has access to America's information as this South African infiltrator. Before I get started with the news, I'm going to start with this quote from George Orwell out of 1984. The party told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. It was their final, most essential command. Now, we saw what we saw as far as this person, and people want to act like this is not a fascistic regime, like these people are not coming in, taking over, and that you don't need to believe what you see or hear or anything, just kind of go along with it. And the fact that he has his own propaganda machine is really shaping the minds of these impressionable, opposite of smart MAGA people. And I need to know and understand, where are the checks and balances checking and balancing what is going on in Washington right now? We were talking about this last week, where he was trying to gain access to the Social Security payment system. Well, he's actually gained access to the Social Security system. Musk aides lock workers out of OPM computer systems. The lowlights of this post. Musk aides restrict access to federal employment data systems. Musk's team works around the clock, installs sofa beds at OPM. Concerns include cybersecurity and lack of oversight. Aides to Elon Musk charged with running the U.S. government Human Resources Agency have locked career civil servants out of computer systems that contain the personal data of millions of federal employees, according to two agency officials. Since taking office 11 days ago, and now it's been 2 weeks, Donald Trump has embarked on a massive government makeover, firing and sidelining hundreds of civil servants in his first steps towards downsizing the bureaucracy and installing more loyalists. Musk, tasked by Trump to slash the size of the 2.2 million strong civilian government workforce, has moved swiftly to install allies at the agency, known as the Office of Personnel Management. The two officials, who spoke to Reuters on condition of anonymity for fear of retaliation, said some senior career employees at OPM have had their access revoked to some of the department's data systems. The systems include a vast database called Enterprise Human Resources Integration, which contains the dates of birth, social security numbers, appraisals, home addresses, pay grades, and length of service of government workers, the official said. We have no visibility into what they are doing with the computer and data systems, one of the officials said. That is creating great concern. There is no oversight. It creates real cybersecurity and hacking implications. Officials affected by the move can still log on and access functions such as email, but can no longer see the massive data sets that cover every facet of the federal workforce. Musk, OPM representatives of the new team, and the White House did not immediately respond to requests for comments. OPM has sent out memos that eschew the normal dry wording of government missives, as it encourages civil servants to consider buyout offers, to quit and take a vacation to a dream destination. Don Moynihan, a professor at the Ford School of Public Policy at the University of Michigan, said the actions inside OPM raised concerns about how congressional oversight at the agency and how Trump and Musk view the federal bureaucracy. This makes it much harder for anyone outside Musk's inner circle at OPM to know what's going on. Musk influence. A team including current and former employees of Musk assumed command of OPM on January 20th, the day Trump took office. They have moved sofa beds onto the 5th floor of the agency's headquarters, which contains the director's office and can only be accessed with a security badge or security escorts, one of the OPM employees said. The sofa beds have been installed so the team can work around the clock, the employee said. Musk, a major donor to a famously demanding boss, installed beds at X for employees to enable them to work longer when, in 2022, he took over the social media platform formerly known as Twitter. It feels like a hostile takeover, the employee said. The new appointees in charge of OPM have moved the agency's chief management officer, Katie Malagoo, out of her office to a new office on a different floor, the official said. Malagoo did not respond to requests for comment. The moves by Musk aides at OPM and the upheaval inside the Treasury building caused by other Musk aides was reported on Friday, underscoring the sweeping influence Musk is having across the government. David Liebrick, the top-ranking career U.S. Treasury Department official, is set to leave his post following a clash with allies of Musk after they asked for access to payment systems, the Washington Post reported on Friday. The new team at OPM includes software engineers Brian Belgide, who joined Musk's SpaceX venture in 2003 as an avionics engineer before rising to become the company's vice president of human resources. Belgide's role at OPM is that of senior advisor. The acting head of OPM, Charles Ezell, has been sending memos to the entire government workforce since Trump took office, including Tuesday's offering federal employees the chance to quit with 8 months' pay. No one here knew that the memos were coming out. We're finding out about the memos at the same time as the rest of the world, the officials said. So that is the hostile takeover of OPM. And also this, he's shuttering USAID. Musk announced the planned closure of the Foreign Assistance Agency early Monday on social media. Musk said Monday that he and Trump were in the process of shutting down the U.S. Agency for International Development, escalating their war on the federal bureaucracy, and defying the constitutional power of Congress to determine how money is spent. Musk, the head of Trump's made-up government efficiency initiative, announced the shutdown in the middle of the night in an audio-only appearance on his social media site X. "We're shutting you down," he said. At another point, he said, we're in the process of shutting down USAID. Musk did not say what legal authority he believed the White House has to shut down a federal agency without congressional approval or how quickly the administration planned to act. He said the idea had the full support of the president and that he had spoken with Trump on the matter several times. With regard to the USAID stuff, I went over it with him in detail and he agreed that we should shut it down. I actually checked with him a few times and said, "Are you sure?" And he said that Trump responded, "Yes." The White House did not immediately respond to a request for comment on Musk's announcement. Trump said Sunday that Musk is doing a good job and criticized USAID as run by a bunch of radical lunatics, though he did not go so far as to say he planned to shut down the agency with or without congressional agreement. Trump administration officials have discussed placing USAID under the authority of the State Department, according to more than a dozen current and former officials and sources familiar with the discussions. NBC News has reported a move that Democratic lawmakers and legal experts have argued could violate a law adopted by Congress establishing the agency. Trump has said that he is freezing virtually all U.S. foreign assistance pending a 90-day review. Congress annually appropriates money for U.S. aid to spend primarily on foreign aid and internationally focused charities. Its budget in the 2023 fiscal year was about $40 billion, according to a report last month from the Congressional Research Service. That's a tiny fraction of the overall federal discretionary spending of $1.7 trillion. But now supposedly Marco Rubio is named the acting administrator after Elon Musk said that they have agreed to shut it down. I don't know if Marco Rubio is going to just be a figurehead that's officially sworn in or something. I don't know, but that is the latest. USAID employees at an annex office in D.C. were seen clearing out their desks. Then Rubio confirmed to reporters traveling with him in Central America that he had been appointed acting administrator of USAID and said he delegated his authority to someone, though the Times reporters, he did not say the person's name. He didn't name the person. Supposedly, USAID will be merged with the State Department and will have significant cuts in workforce, but it will remain a humanitarian aid entity. So that is what's going on, part of what's going on. Literally, Musk is in there taking over. He bought the presidency and they are in there slashing things, getting access to everybody's information. Join the conversation. Please share this. If you're a content creator, make your own videos on this. We need to be reminded of Trump's own words regarding tariffs while he was campaigning, how he was going to get inflation down, bring back jobs, all of that. In August 2023, in a rally in Des Moines, Iowa, we're going to bring back our jobs and stop countries from taking advantage of us with these ridiculous trade deals. Remember, he did negotiate the UMCA, the United States Mexico Canada agreement. He was part of that. He scrapped NAFTA for that. He says, and don't worry, folks, these tariffs won't cost you a dime. Prices will stay low and our economy will be stronger than ever. October 2023, speech in Erie, Pennsylvania. The fake news will tell you that our plans will make everything more expensive. It's not true. We're implementing smart tariffs that will protect our workers without raising costs to the American family. January 2024, rally in Manchester, New Hampshire. They say tariffs will raise prices. Wrong. We're making better deals, and you'll see the cost of goods go down, not up. We're putting America first. That means affordable products for you. March 5th, 2024, our opponents claim that tariffs will hurt consumers, but under my administration, we've seen the opposite. Prices have remained stable, and in many cases, they've dropped. We're winning on trade, and you're benefiting at the checkout line. Finally, June 2024, rally in Phoenix, Arizona. Don't let them scare you with talk of rising prices. Our tariff strategy is working, bringing back jobs and keeping prices low. The American people are winning again. That is what he said while he was campaigning. His people were not smart enough to actually look into what tariffs do. They looked at it after the election. So he got their vote. He doesn't care. Prices are going up. We're now in a trade war. We're now in Trump's trade war. We're now in a tariff war because of Trump's tariffs. So we're going to continue to, I'm going to attach this video to my YouTube videos, and I'm going to keep reminding people that this is Trump's tariffs, Trump's trade war. We need to attach those words to Trump's name, like all of his other bankruptcies and failed businesses. He's going to fail the country spectacularly, bigly, if you will. All right, let me know what you think. Please share this. Literally just 2 days ago, Donald Trump and his MAGA administration announced the tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China. He talked about tariffs all throughout his campaign. Some people were clutching their pearls. The stock market started to plummet. Business owners are like, oh my God, how can you do this to me? He talked about this, but these people still voted for him. He said he was going to do this on February 1st, and he did it. I honestly think he had to do it because if he backed down, especially since Canada and Mexico said that they were going to retaliate, he had to do it because he thought that they were going to kiss the ring and bow down to him, but they didn't. They said we're going to retaliate. And literally they did. They had the game plans set up because they knew it was coming. So of course their people started setting things up. Anyways, y'all, it seems like he's already backtracking. Trump pauses Mexico tariffs for 1 month after agreement on border troops. I believe he decided to start this fire, and now he's going to act like he is the fireman coming in to fix things. Donald Trump paused. So this is the key point. Donald Trump paused for a month new 25% tariffs on goods entering the United States from Mexico. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum agreed to immediately send 10,000 soldiers to her country's border to prevent the trafficking of fentanyl and other drugs. The announcement came 2 days after Trump slapped 25% tariffs on goods from Mexico and Canada, as well as 10% tariff on goods imported from China. It is important to note here that Canada and Mexico announced that they were going to retaliate. I don't know what China is planning on doing, but I'm totally sure they're going to retaliate against us as well. All right, Trump said there will be Mexican officials, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent, and Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick negotiating the tariffs. Trump, always announcing things on his social media, said that during the pause, we will have negotiations on the tariffs headed by Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Okay, we already said these names just a moment ago. But like I said, he keeps announcing everything on his social media. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said Saturday night that his country would implement a 25% tariff against the 155 billion in U.S. goods in retaliation for Trump's tariffs. Here's China. It said it will challenge the tariffs at the World Trade Organization. U.S. stocks, which had opened trading lower Monday, regained most of the losses on news of the pause of the tariffs on goods from Mexico. The stock, these people are really watching what Trump is doing. Trump is a highly volatile person, and the fact that it's making the economy, the stocks go up and down on the basis of a man that probably should be in a nursing home rather than running things from the White House. Here's a tweet from Doug Ford, who up until now was quite Trumpian, said, starting today and until the U.S. tariffs are removed, Ontario is banning American companies from provincial contracts. Every year, the Ontario government and its agencies spend $30 billion on procurement alongside with our $200 billion plan to build Ontario. U.S.-based businesses will now lose out on tens of billions of dollars in new revenues. They only have President Trump to blame. We're going one step further. We'll be ripping up the province's contract with Starlink. Ontario won't do business with people hell-bent on destroying our economy. Canada didn't start this fight with the United States, but you better believe we're ready to win it. This person was very Trumpy up until this point. In the Ask Canada subreddit, it says Trump supporters are not welcome in Canada. Seriously, if you're a Trump supporter and you're wearing a MAGA hat here, you won't be safe here. There's a lot of anger within all the people here. Your pathetic president directly made inflation higher for the common people for no reason. Canada did nothing to the U.S. We're a developed Western nation. Do not come to Canada. We utterly despise you. You scumbags disgust us. Them specifically targeting red states and alcohol is funny to me. It says last call for U.S. booze on island liquor store shelves, but they're doing this all across Canada, and it makes me happy. Canadians across the board are canceling trips. They're saying they are not going to spend money here in the United States. They are booing at professional sports games. They were booing at a basketball game. They're booing at a hockey match. They are disgusted with the United States at this current moment. This article from Politico says Canada's tariff list targets Republican states and Trump allies. Canada's retaliatory tariffs will target Republican states and Donald Trump allies. Canadians understand that we need to respond to this. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said Saturday night, we need to respond in a way that is appropriate, that is measured, but forceful, that meets the moment. Some of the things that Canada will target include oranges and fruit from Florida, home to Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort, household appliances from South Carolina and Ohio, states to Senator Lindsey Graham and VP J.D. Vance, and motorcycles and coffee from Southern Pennsylvania, which helped return Trump to the White House. So you can read the full list if you go looking for it. Energy and tech products were not included in the first round of tariffs. The second list will be published in coming days. So we know Trump has been talking about making Canada the 51st state. That's one of the things that is really irking, really upsetting Canadians. Well, now he's still talking about all of that, and they can get rid of tariffs if they just become the 51st state. And the talks are renewed with Justin Trudeau. So Trump has made, some kind of tentative plan or a tentative agreement with Mexico's president, Sheinbaum. Now they have to focus on Trudeau. I don't know what kind of concessions they can come with making Canada the 51st state, but we'll see what kind of negotiations they do and what Trump can say to save this one to where we don't stay in this trade war. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau spoke to U.S. President Donald Trump early Monday morning about the forthcoming trade war that has the potential to inflict economic pain on workers and businesses on both sides of the border. And they are expected to speak again later today. The Prime Minister's office and the White House did not immediately release a readout of what was said on the call, but a spokesperson for Trudeau told CBC News they spoke about trade and the border and confirmed they will connect again this afternoon before tariffs are set to take effect on Tuesday. Speaking to reporters in the Oval Office after the first call, Trump said he had a good talk with Prime Minister. He said Canada is very tough and we're not treated very well by Canada and we have to be treated well. Like this bully is sitting up here acting like he's being bullied. He's sitting up here literally trying to declare economic war on our trade partners and actual war on other countries trying to take over lands and stuff. But the United States isn't treated well. Okay. It says he claimed Canada doesn't take our agricultural products for the most part. It's an outlandish statement because the United States is Canada's largest agricultural trading partner, according to data from Trump's own government, representing some 57% of Canadian food imports. Trump said he asked Trudeau a couple of questions and the prime minister will report back in the afternoon. The president has said for weeks he would like Canada to join the United States as the 51st state. It's a line he repeated again today, saying he would love to see Canada join the Union, but he seemed to acknowledge it would be a long shot, saying some unnamed people do have a threshold for pain. So I don't know, does that mean that he's still declaring this trade war or not? So we've already talked about the fact that there's a negotiation going on with President Sheinbaum. So that's where this is talking about. The Mexican pause added to the trade drama because Trump's tariffs against Canada and China are still slated to go into effect. After the news of Sheinbaum's deal broke, some conservative politicians in Canada called for the federal government to deploy the military to Canada-United States border, which was almost entirely demilitarized after the War of 1812, more than 200 years ago. That's where we're going. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre asked Trudeau to send Canadian forces troops, helicopters, and surveillance to the border now to try to save the Canada-U.S. trade relationship and address Trump's concerns about drugs and migrants. He also called for hiring of at least 2,000 more Canada Border Service Agency agents to bolster the enforcement agency that's responsible for border control. So they're really trying. I guess this is how they're going to try to help Trump save face and where these tariffs don't really have to go into effect. I really hope that this trade war does not happen. There's just been way too much news breaking and it's going at breakneck speeds. So I'll keep updated as we get this information. But for now, join the conversation. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.